here at Petroglyph National Monument in New Mexico, right outside of Albuquerque. And we're just going to hike one of the trails here and see some of the amazing petroglyphs that are here already here. You can see some of the depictions that include stars. There are several depictions here of star people. We're going to see how that might have to do with portals, time travel, traversing the cosmos. Now, in looking at the rock behind me, you can see the holes in it. So this is a type of volcanic rock. It's very porous, and there's a lot of that around here. In fact, there's a volcano park that is to the west of us a little bit here. No petroglyphs over there. This is the area here where the petroglyphs are, and they're carved into the dark volcanic rock so that you can see the lighter depictions of the petroglyphs themselves. Okay, and here we go. A little hard to actually see with the naked eye. It looks like the contrast there with the camera's actually picking it up better. But here we have our spiral petroglyph. Now, when we've talked about these before, we've talked about them in the context of portals, star people coming down and using some sort of portal technology, some sort of dimensional technology, we're not quite sure, some sort of energy to be able to come from their world to here using this. I recently covered here that there's somebody who had sent me some information. Well, there's this professor at a university that says, no, these are not actually portals. He had some other wonderful idea for what they were. It's like, you know what? It's the indigenous people that are saying these are the portals. It's not people out of my field. It's not pseudoscientists. It's not that. It's the indigenous people that are saying that these are portals. So I'm going to trust the people that actually created these glyphs and not the people that came along hundreds or thousands of years saying, well, this is what we think it is. No, the people that made these are saying these are portals. There's one right here. In fact, here we go. Here we have one of those gentlemen right here. Could be gentle lady. And the portal is right there. So here we have a very nice depiction. And, a lot of these, yes, are open to interpretation, admittedly. There are a lot of these of which we don't know the precise details of. But again, when you have the indigenous folks saying that you have star people and you have portals, then I'm going to trust them on that. But even they admit there are some that they're not quite sure exactly what they are. But when they have ones that they're saying, this is what it is, I'm taking their word on that. And yet another interesting one here. Again, they're not all going to be star people. And I'm not saying every single one of these glyphs are, but some of these absolutely are. And here, we see, it looks like, that one could even be a turtle, for all we know. But you see this being, this creature coming out of something down here that does have a bit of that swirl effect to it. So it's something that we would take a bit of a closer look at and try to get more of an interpretation of. So, like that one there, that's very distinctly a turtle, not a star person, not a creature other than earthly. So, yeah, there's plenty of very natural things included here on the stones as well. But like this one here, very different sort of looking individual. There's a couple things coming up out of his head. He's got a star on the shoulder. It looks like another star there down by his feet. So is this somebody actually traveling through the stars? And even the wavy line up there that kind of looks like an M. Actually, if we look at ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, that would be a symbol for water. So now you may say that there aren't connections between here and ancient Egypt, but actually you will find that they are. You look close enough. Okay, fellow time travelers, I'm standing in what is essentially a stone circle in the middle of the Mesa on Boca Negra. Now, it does have a eastward facing opening, which if you're going to go from a spiritual type of perspective here, this is a view that's looking out toward the east, out toward the rising sun. And as you can see, it also has a very, very magnificent view of the mountains back there. So yeah, the city and town is in front of us here, but absolutely beautiful view. But we are in the middle of a stone circle, and this is something that we see all over the world, are these stone circles to harness this power that is in regions like this. So just coming up here, I mean, it was kind of uncanny. I just got chills just walking up the mesa for the first time. Oh my gosh, there's a stone circle. And yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it. Now, the people that we are talking about here that would have been creating these things, leaving these glyphs, creating the structure up here, we would call them today the ancient Pueblans. We actually don't know specifically who they were, but they were the ancestors of some of the more modern tribes of the area that we are familiar with. These peoples disappeared hundreds, some cases in this area thousands of years ago. We don't truly know who they were, what they did, why they did the things that they did, but we have little fingerprints like this to give us some clues, and we're trying to interpret that. So I definitely encourage you to come out here, take a look for yourself, and decide for yourself what you think it is. But something like this, looks more like a tribesman. You have the headdress, you have the mask, that sort of thing. Now, was he depicting something that he had maybe seen before, or was a tradition that had been passed down of things that they had interacted with? We don't know. But this is ceremonial tribesmen. I have to say, Jen is always fantastic at the scavenger hunt and finding things. And I remember when we were at Chaco Canyon last year, she found the snake along the Petroglyph Trail, which was right next to the spiral patterns, the portals, and the star people, like within a few feet. I hadn't noticed that one before myself. But here, again, we have the stars and what looks like it may be a snake. So I'm open to that certain interpretation. There are definitely stars, and again, if we're talking stars, star people, portal energy, well, snake is an ancient representation of energy, so it's a possibility. Okay, leave it to Jen again. Now, I already noticed the star in the mountains above, but as we're kind of saying, okay, satellite dish, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, those are directional points. The mountains are straight that way, due east. So map. So if that's the case, and if this is a map, that circular structure that we saw at the very top, is that what this is? Basically the circle with the dot, circumpunct, which would be the ancient alchemical symbol. But then you have the directional points heading out from that. So is that the structure that was at the top? Hard to know, again, because then that leaves the rest of it open to a lot of interpretation for the rest of the area around here. Or are we looking at it incorrectly? Would this be a map of the entire structure upwards? So this would be the very top, this would be the base, the bottom, basically where we are at now, and then of course the mountains beyond. It's another way to look at it, a vertical map rather than a horizontal one. So that's a possibility too. One more time at Boca Negra here. Now this is really, really interesting. On our drive out yesterday, Jennifer had noticed the spiral petroglyph up there, which of course is very interesting to me. This is something I've been researching a lot of, because it is a symbol of energy and portal activity. Stargate locations generally have this symbol as well. So it's a controversial topic. There are those in the traditional mainstream that don't agree with that, but the indigenous people are telling us that these are portals. Now, from your portal there, you have over here the snake. Of course, we've talked before about that snake energy. When we say snake energy, really was an ancient symbol of energy. We find that in ancient Egypt. We've seen that at Chaco Canyon. And then if you just come down the steps here, you literally have the star people right here. So if you were actually to walk up the stairs the way we go, you have the star people using the energy to enter the portal.